It is Pastor Freddie with Christ in Us, and this is Christ in Us Church. We come together, even in a pandemic, we don't stop. We lift everyone up in this world that is dealing with, and I know we all are being affected by it. Today's been one of those days where I had to turn to some of my friends, pastor friends, to kind of get a grip on what's going on in my own life. We're going to start right away in Matthew 25, verse 31 through 33. When the Son of Man comes in his glory and all the angels with him, he will sit on his glorious throne. All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate the people one from another, as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. He will put the sheep on his right and the goats on his left. Bible scholars argue about the judgment. It says that the nations will be gathered before him. Some believe that each person will be judged on the basis of their nationality. They believe that each person will be judged based on their country behaved, how their country behaved. This is the furthest thing from the truth. This is the judgment of people who lived on this earth after Jesus' resurrection from the dead. Each person will stand individually before God and be judged. We're not going to be judged on what our country did. We're not going to be judged on what our county did. We're not going to be judged on what our city did. We need to notice that Jesus separates the sheep from the goats, not the sheep from the wolves. The sheep are those who are born again believers in Jesus Christ. The goats are those who claim to be saved but are not. I preach on that a lot. I call them professional Christians. Those who pretend. Those who claim to be a Christian for whatever reason. Maybe they go to church because that's where their friends are, and that's the only time they get to socialize. The only time they get to see their friends. Verse 34. Matthew 25, verse 34. Then the king will say to those on his right, "Come, you who are blessed by my Father. Take your inheritance, the kingdom prepared for you since the creation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, and you come to visit me." Then he will say to those on his left, "Depart from me, you who are cursed, into eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was hungry, and you give me nothing. I was thirsty, and you give me nothing to drink. I was a stranger, and you did not invite me in. I needed clothes, and you did not clothe me. I was sick and in prison, and you did not look after me." The interesting thing about this is that Jesus is clearly saying that the ultimate mark of an authentic Christian is not his creed or his faith or his Bible knowledge, but the concern which he shows for those who are in need. We need to keep in mind, Jesus come here to serve, not to be served. He didn't come here to look good in church. He didn't come here to rub elbows with his best friend at church. He didn't come here because the worship band was so good he couldn't stand not being able to hear them, or the light show, or the new sanctuary, or to see what kind of shoes is the pastor wearing today. None of that interests Jesus. His main concern was looking after those who was in need. What is Jesus? He's love. And if we can't love, then we're nothing. The particular demonstration of love is the final proof. Notice that Jesus does not ask anyone to present his case or argue his case. He asks no questions nor requests any evidence. He simply extends to this one group the invitation, come, you who are blessed by my Father. Take your inheritance, the kingdom prepared for you since the creation of the world. Then he explains the basis of his choice. He has simply noted that when they had opportunity to help someone in need, they did it. Nothing more is required. We need to notice that Jesus identifies himself with those in need. If you help them, you're helping Jesus. How many times have we said we don't know who we're helping? That next person in need, maybe it's Jesus. There's a song out there, Brandon Heath, give me your eyes. Telling Jesus, give me your eyes just for 1 second. Imagine if we could see the world through Jesus' eyes. That would be a beautiful thing. The seriousness of this matter of helping the needy is seen in the severity of the Lord's words. Imagine, 1 second, just imagine, lose yourself for a minute. Close your eyes and picture Jesus saying this to you. Depart from me, you who are cursed, into the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels. How's that going to rest with you? How are you going to sit when he says that? Remember, those people honestly think they are sheep. They can point to the time they made a profession of belief. They might be the people who are in good standing with the church. You can be a deacon, but if you don't love, you could be a trustee in the church, but if your faith is not in the Lord. Let's understand this. If your faith is in the Lord, then you love the way the Lord loves. If you love the way the Lord loves, then your faith is there. The two go hand in hand. If you have accepted Christ into your heart and to lead your life, then there's no worry about loving people, and there's no worry about having the faith. That's going to come naturally. It all starts with that very simple prayer. Lord, please forgive me of my sins. Father, I want you to come into my heart. I want you to come into my life. I want you to take my soul. I want to be more like you. The rest just comes naturally. Verse 37, then the righteous will answer him, Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you a stranger and invite you in, or needing clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison and go to visit you? They will also answer, Lord, when did we see you hungry or thirsty, a stranger, needing clothes, or in prison? He will reply, truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these, you did not do it for me. Whatever you did not do for one of the least of these, you did not do it for me. Whatever you did not do for one of the least of these, you did not do it for me. What didn't we do? Is this why we had an argument on the phone today? Is this why we were so upset? Because we can't do anything. Is this why it hurts so bad when the phone rings and it's somebody, I need your help. Sure is quiet in here. You did not do it for one of the least of these. You did not do it for me. Then they will go away to eternal punishment, but the righteous to eternal life. We can pretend to be Christians. We can pretend to love. We can pretend to have faith. But see, pretending could basically be lying, couldn't it? Aren't you lying to yourself when you pretend? And what happens with lies? Don't they always catch up with you? So, truth is, we can't be goats. We have to be sheep. The reaction of both the sheep and the goats to the Lord's word is one of surprise. It is evident that both groups expected a different base of judgment. As they were being divided into one group or another, they thought they knew the reason for their choice. Surely the sheep would feel that the basis was that of faith. Remember, not one person is given the chance to say a word. The issue is already settled. Each person is simply told to which group they belong. The issue is about faith. The sheep are asked to take their place on the right hand of the throne because all through their lives, their genuine faith has been producing fruit of good works. I am sure that the goats did what they thought were good works as well. But they were doing them for their reward on earth, not their reward in heaven. The value of the works is based on the motive. So the question is, why do you do what you do? What is the motive behind why you do what you do? Is it to look good here on earth and get pats on the back and people say, "Attaboy, I'm so proud of you. God sure got a reward for you in heaven." If I've been told that one time, I've been told that a billion. No, we do it because that's what we want to do. All of us want to love the way the Lord loves, and all of us wants to do what Jesus would do. WWJD, what would Jesus do? It would hurt him so bad he would get in an argument with his wife on the phone because all he wants to do is help. It would have his wife fumbling around trying to figure out, what can we do? What can we do? I know what I did. I felt bad and I got on my knees in the middle of the store and I started praying, God, help me to see clearly. Help me to see with your eyes. Help me to get out of your way so you can do your work and I can be your hands and feet. It's a scary time with all this coronavirus stuff and legally not being able to do anything. But as long as we stay out of the way and let God work, we're going to get through this. We need to continue loving. Continue making those who are hungry have something to eat. Continue making sure those that are naked have clothes to wear. Continue helping as much as we can possibly help. And it starts with helping each other. When you know one of your sisters or brothers are struggling with something, go to them and ask, can I pray for you? That's why we went around and prayed for everybody. Because we know everybody needs prayer. You may not say it, but we know you do. It's not about us and what can we have and what can we get. It's about what can we do. So, keep in mind, we're sheep. Sheep will spend eternal life in heaven. And the goats, well, they will spend eternal punishment in hell. Heaven is for real, and so is hell. Remember, if you're watching this on YouTube, on our Christ in Us channel, that's Christ-in-us Ministries, you can call the number on the screen. And for those listening on the podcast, 251-421-0894, we will be happy to pray with you. But right now in our church, and we want y'all to do the same thing, put on some worship music and go to the Lord in prayer. That's what we're going to do here. Till next time, it's Pastor Freddie. We love y'all. We're going to go into our worship. If you want prayer, by all means,